Alright, Andrew here with StrataGames, and today I'm going to be streaming some M21 draft, so let's get into it. M21 is a pretty fun set to draft so far. I've really enjoyed some of the specific niche strategies like Shrines and Teferi's Tutelage. But I have not nearly tried all of the strategies, so hopefully we can get something interesting going on here. Okay, so we start with our rarest Primal Might, which is a Prey Pawn that has a lot of upside, so that's a really good one. Might be worth taking. Waker of Waves, which is a reanimation target that puts itself in your graveyard, which is very nice. And we've got Grasp of Darkness, which is a good black removal spell. Heartfire Immolator is good in red. Nothing that I absolutely feel like I have to take. But I don't know. Let's just take Primal Might because it's pretty good, and I like green in this set. Okay, so we have Thrashing Brontodon, which is just an above-rate creature that also gives you some main deck Naturalize, which is especially nice in these best-of-1 matches. Obsessive Stitcher, which is great for a reanimation or a Teferi's Tutelage deck. Hunter's Edge, which is a great green, it's a punch spell, which I would love to take, but I think the Thrashing Brontodon is just better. So since I went with green for my first pick, I'm going to stick with that for my second pick as well. Ooh, okay. So Fierce Empath is a pretty decent green card if you have a 6-drop or greater that you want to go search for. Leafkin Avenger cares about creatures with power 4 or greater, and also ramp. So the question is, do I want to pick this and go for a big creature, or do I want to pick this and go into green and red? Jeskai Elder is fine too. Oh, Roaming Ghostlight is actually a very strong card. It's deceptive. That might just be worth taking above these. Yeah, I'm gonna pick it. Don't underestimate Roaming Ghostlight. It's very good. So this one wants a lot of instants and sorceries. It's a good card, but it's not really what we're going for so far. Griffin area is a good build around, so if the life gain strategy is open, we could maybe head that way. There's a lot of white here, so maybe white is open, because this is a pretty good card, and this is a pretty good build around. There's nothing else here that I'm really excited about. So yeah, I'm going to go with the build around, and if we get some life gain, that's a good way that we can go with this. Okay, Tavern Swindler is life gain, sometimes. Radiant Fountain is not the best because it's only 2 life gain, so it doesn't trigger these things by itself. There was a Frantic Inventory in the last pack, so if I am headed into blue, we could try and grab this and hope that one wheels. It's a hard pick. Yeah, I guess I'll go with this. Oh, here we go. Warden of the Woods. This is a great green creature. This makes me wish that I had taken the Fierce Empath, because this is an amazing 6-drop, because it has Vigilance, so it attacks and blocks great, and if they ever target it to get it out of the way, you get to draw 2 cards. So this indicates to me that green is in fact open like I thought. Garrick's Uprising rewards you for creatures with power 4 or greater. The other option is Gnarled Sage, which is fine, but we're not going that much into card draw so far. So, yeah, looks like we're sticking with green. Azusa, great card for constructed, but not so much for limited. She lets you play a bunch of lands, but, you know, only if you have a bunch of lands to play, and you'll run out pretty quickly. So, that said, what else am I taking? Like, I could take this land for fixing. My second color is probably going to end up being red if I'm going into 4-power deck, but I'm gonna take Azusa, probably not player. All right, Malefic Scythe is actually I've been pretty impressed with it. I haven't played it. I've played against it a bunch, and it seems pretty scary. So I don't hate that. Opt is actually good for the green-blue draw 2 cards deck. Or I could take a Jungle Hollow in case I want to splash black. I think because I've already got some blue, it's likely I will get some cards that care about drawing multiples. So let's take that. I like Snare Spinner. This format is pretty aggressive, so it's excellent to have cards that block well. And this also has flyers, hits flyers, so it's nice. We got the Fierce Empath back. That'll help us find our Warden of the Woods. All right. Worth considering taking Revitalize for the Griffin Airy, but it's not looking like I'm going to end up playing Griffin Airy. Although, Idol of Endurance makes that a little more likely. When you play it, it exiles all creatures with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard, and each turn you can play one of them. So you wait to play it until you've traded off a bunch of small creatures, and then you get them all back, which is not bad at all. Could make me want to go into white some more. Or I could take this Frantic Inventory, or of course one of these good green cards. I think the other inventory didn't wheel, so somebody else is taking them. So do I just count on one of these green cards to wheel? I think I'm going to try that. I think once you get up to 3 is when these are going to start getting pretty good. Although obviously more would be preferable. Okay. Interesting. So we have Quirion Dryad, but our deck is mostly green, so she's not that good here. Even Gaggle Master is actually really good. Opt is fine, but we already have one, don't really need it. Sabertooth Mauler's more for a green-black deck, so really the best cards here are Scorching Dragonfire and even Gaggle Master. So I guess I'll go with the Gaggle Master in case I do end up white, because that's still possible. Okay. Well, it's looking more and more like the life gain deck is open. So I could just like pick Revitalize and try and switch back into white. I don't hate that. Gale Swooper's fine. This guy's fine, but I don't want to switch to white and black. I mean, this guy's actually really good, but I don't want to switch to white and black. But what else? What am I losing out on here? Like, these aren't really that good. Okay. Every time I try and get out, it just gives me another great green card that pulls me back in. So let's just keep it in the back of our mind that we could switch to white, but we are by no means committed to that. We're also not committed to blue either, so we could go like green-white. There's another Garruk's Uprising, which is not legendary, so we could have 2 of them out, but right now we only have 1 4-power creature. So we definitely need more if we're going to take that. And we did open one, so that might wheel. But there aren't any creatures here to take in its place. There's like Track Down. So I guess I'll take another one and then maybe focus hard on getting 4-power creatures. Interesting. Still no big creatures, but Fairy's Protege is fine. Fungal Rebirth can return any permanent card from my graveyard to hand. So it would like get back a creature from my graveyard, and if I play it on a turn a creature's died, I also get Saprolings, which is good. I haven't played with it yet. Seems good. Let's try it. Okay, this is a pretty easy Dreadmon. Ooh, Sanctum of All. I still haven't gotten to build a Sanctum deck with the Sanctum of All. I've built some Shrine decks without it, but here we go. Forgotten Sentinel. It's a 4-power creature. Yeah, it's not the best 4-power creature, but it's actually fine. So, do I want a third Garruk's Uprising, or do I want just another 4-power creature that cares about drawing cards? Yeah, that seems good for this deck. I mean, I guess we're most likely to play the Mauler, but I don't think we're going to play it. Okay, so we have 2 good removal spells, Hunter's Edge and Primal Might. We have some good early defense, which is important in this set, and we have some solid late game, as well as payoffs for playing 4-power creatures, so we can keep drawing through our deck. So what are we looking for here? Let's see, Demonic Embrace. Oh, interesting. It's a good card. I'm not playing it here, but it's a good card. So our options are Gnarled Sage, Mistral Singer, and Thralling Hold is pretty good. It's like a worse Mind Control, but worse Mind Control is still pretty good. So that said, the downside is quite substantial, and there have been quite a few times when I've wanted to play it, but they just haven't tapped their creature, so I haven't been able to. But it's still good, still worth playing. All right. Do I have a bunch of non-creature spells for Riddle Form? Not really. Mistral Singer is just a fine card. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. But I do have, I'm getting up to a high number of 3-drops. Ooh, Liliana Standard Bearer is great, and I don't know why people keep passing it to me. I had one draft where I was playing Black-Red Sacrifice, and I got past 2 of these. And I won that draft handily. It's a very good card, and people should not pass it as much as they do. Okay, Gorehorn is a 5-drop that does have 4 power. It dies easily. The other option really is Thornwood Falls to fix our mana. I think we have enough big creatures at this point. I mean, we wouldn't mind more, but I think I would like to have the consistency of Thornwood Falls. Okay, here we're looking at Cancel or Return to Nature. Best of ones, there's a big downside in including niche cards in your deck. That said, I would usually include one Return to Nature if I have space, but I do have Thrashing Brontodon, which fills the same role, so I don't feel compelled to take it. I'm not sure I'll play Cancel, but I might. Okay, we've got another Gorehorn, another Dreadmaw, or Setessim Training. I think we just want another Dreadmaw. This makes our empath better. Okay, so I think blue was not actually very open this draft, but yeah, there's only a couple cards that I'm actually playing it for. I could consider actually switching into white for Griffin Airy, which would make me want the Revitalize. I don't think I need the Gorehorn or anything else. So yeah, I might just switch into white last minute here. These are not reasons to stay in blue. Truffle Snout is a perfectly fine card. That also gains life for the Airy, in case that's relevant. This can tap down creatures if I have a flyer. This is just a good early defender that can become an attacker later. Okay, Opt or Rousing Raid, or Revitalize. Yeah, I guess grab a Revitalize. Scry 3 and then very likely draw a card. Could be pretty good. Am I gonna play the Gorehorn? Maybe. Yeah, let's take track down. Because if we do lose our blue, then we'll need another way to draw cards for the Gnarled Sage, which is not a huge deal, but could be worthwhile. Okay. So green was pretty open. That was obvious. I got some good picks for blue, which made me think it was open, but it really wasn't. But that's okay. Let's see. So we are choosing between green, blue, and green, white. And green, blue looks something like this. We would need to cut 2 more cards. I mean, honestly, the Frantic Inventories, with only 2 of them, are not doing that much. They trigger Gnarled Sage, and that's about it. So, I mean, I could cut those. And then, boom, we've got a 40-card deck. Very heavy on the 3 drops, but I think that's fine. Okay, the other option is we cut blue, and these 2 cards are the main reason that we would want to be in blue. These are very good cards. And if we cut blue, we end up with, let's see, 1 Griffin Airy, which is our reason to be white, 3 Revitalizes, which both draw cards and trigger the Griffin Airy. And drawing cards is good only for Gnarled Sage, but that's fine. And we get Gaggle Master, which is also another good card. And if we want, we could play Rambunctious Mutt. Also for the Airy, we have 2 Truffle Snouts, and the Gaggle Master, if we have another flyer, which, no, we won't. So, Gaggle Master will not trigger Airy, but we would still have 5 other ways of doing so. Interesting. We do have the Fixing Land for blue, so what's really better? Getting possibly some Griffins, but possibly none. Or Enthralling Hold and Roaming Ghostlight. Neither one of these is great. But I think I will be able to pretty consistently trigger the Airy, so I think I'm going to go with that over some cards that are situationally very good, but aren't always great. So yeah, let's go with this. We need to cut 1 card. I could cut the Portcullis Vine because I have 2 other good blockers early. That seems fine. And now we've got a lot of late game. We have 2 Naturalize effects in our main deck that are on just fine creatures. I guess the Mutt isn't really that good if it doesn't destroy something, but I think it's worth it. So let's go with this. Oh, Thornwood Falls. Do we want a land that gains us a life? The only way that'll trigger Airy by itself, well, trigger Airy is if we also play the Gaggle Master on the same turn, which means we'd need to have 5 mana already, 2 of which is white, and then play the Thornwood Falls, which we kind of want to have out early anyway. So then the question is just, is it worth putting in a land that is worth 1 life, but taps, comes into play tapped? And I don't think it is. Like I said, this format's pretty aggressive, which would make it nice to have life gain lands, but also makes it not so nice to have lands that enter play tapped. So let's go with this and see what we can do. Okay, we're playing against George Mortis. I go first. I have, lands and spells. Okay, they have Liliana's Steward. So this could be some form of sacrifice deck, or you know, maybe they just, yeah, it's the sacrifice deck. So my game plan in general is going to be to wall up, keep the opponent from attacking me, and then get to the late game when I can play 6-drop after 6-drop. Yep, Malefic Scythe. So they can put Scythe on here and then use him to make me discard a card, and it'll get a counter. Which is actually fine with me because once I get up to Rambunctious Mutt, I can destroy the Scythe. I mean, what are they going to do? Attack me with this guy into my Truffle Snout? So I'm going to attack them. Bluff attack, get in a damage. I don't need the life, so I'm just going to give this guy a +1 counter. And a 3/3 for 3 is perfectly fine. So having the opportunity to instead gain 4 life and get a 2/2 is, this is just like very solid playable. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is good. They're gonna get that Scythe to grow pretty quickly. Okay, I got another land which I wanted. Unfortunately, it's not green, so I can't use the Brontodon yet. But with the Mutt, I should hopefully next turn be able to destroy that Scythe. So do I attack? Yeah, I think I'm gonna attack actually. If they want to block, that's fine. Because they could just use this Immolator to kill the Truffle Snout anyway. So with this, I at least have the possibility of getting in some damage. Sure. Now the Scythe gives +2/+2, which is a little scary, but I'm just gonna do a couple Revitalizes to make sure I get some land, and then I can play the Mutt to destroy it. Sure, I'll take some damage. I want to make sure I get a land. There we go. So do I play this first? I don't think the spinner is going to attack, so yeah, let's just play it. And I got a Fierce Empath, which is great because it can both act as just a small blocker in front of a sacrifice deck is good, and also draw me a 6-drop, which will then stonewall them. Oh, interesting. So Garrick's Uprising. Unfortunately, I can only play 1 card because I only have 1 green mana. So yeah, let's attack with the Mutt. To search up somebody big. Warden is great. I do need another forest for it, but hopefully we can find that soon. Okay, Fetid Imp. That'll probably trade with Snare Spinner pretty soon. Ooh, unless I want to double block the Deathbloom Thallid. I don't have a lot of reach, so I think I would like to save the Snare Spinner for the Fetid Imp, so I'm just going to take 3 from the Thallid. Interesting. Play the Pteranodon, which is just going to be a 3/3 blocker, but since I'm not attacking with the Mutt because I don't want it to die to the Imp, I'm just going to play Garrett's Uprising. hold the plains in case they sacrifice their steward, and hope I find another forest soon. So I will block the Fetid Imp, which would let them trade, which is fine. Sure. And I got another down. Interesting. So I could use Fungal Rebirth to return Truffle Snout or Snare Spinner, but because it also takes green, I can still only play one spell. Yeah, let's just play another blocker. I'll trade with a Valid if need be, that's fine. The most important thing against the aggro deck is just to be able to shut down their early aggression. Okay, so this guy is gonna let... Oh, okay. You can make creatures with power 2 or less be unblockable. It's not ideal. I need to find an answer for that. It's going to be hard if I cannot find a forest, though. I guess I'll play a land, and it could attack with the Mutt, but that would leave me sort of open. So I guess I just sort of have to pass. So the fact that they now have a creature that can make their creatures unblockable is not ideal. I guess it can only target the Hobble Fiend and Liliana Steward, which is going to be a slow death, but if I'm not doing anything in the meantime, that's not ideal. So I could play Fungal Rebirth and get back Truffle Snout. I mean, I want to be mana efficient. They only have 1 green mana, so I'm going to do that. Because now, if I don't draw a forest, I'll still be able to play this. Ooh, Gaggle Master. That's actually great. That's going to draw me a card, and it will give me a flying attacker, so that I can be pressuring them. All right. Cool. And I got Forgotten Sentinel, so I can draw another card off of Garruk's Uprising next turn. So that was a good draw. That was less ideal. Now my Gaggle Master will die to Fetid Imp if I attack, but it's probably... might still be worth it. Here we go. So now they have enough creatures out that Warden of the Woods is not going to be able to really attack through, but it will take out some stuff when it goes. But I also don't want it just getting blocked by Fetid Imp. So yeah, I'm going to attack with the Gaggle Master, and they're going to kill it, but I'll trample over for a couple damage. I can't just sit back because they're going to be able to make the Igneous Cur unblockable and then pump it. and deal me a lot of unblockable damage. So I need to get aggressive. Excellent. So track down is going to help me find my fight spell. Hopefully. Because I need to get rid of Subira. Okay. Griffin Airy. I don't think I want it because I have one source of life gain, which is not bad, but I am going to leave a land on top so that I get to draw it. So if I attack with Warden of the Woods, what are they going to be able to do? I mean, they could block with a bunch of things, but I'm going to kill at least 2 of those things. And that's what I want, so... This would be a questionable block, but I guess it's possible that they have a pump spell. Yeah. That's fine. So that traded 3 for 1, but I'm still sort of in a losing position here. So let's see what I can get off this Forgotten Sentinel. Dreadmaw? Well, that's something. So one thing that has helped me a little bit is that they are stuck on mana. So if they had 5 mana, they could just give Igneous Cur unblockable and then 4 power and be hitting me for 5 unblockable every turn. But I suppose if they had more lands, they would have fewer creatures that I have to get through anyway. Excellent. So Hunter's Edge, so I can finally get rid of Subira before it kills me. So that's what I'm going to want to do right now. Which creature am I putting the counter on? Yeah, Sentinel, so that it gets it out of Deathbloom Ballad range. Okay. So now I still feel like I need to get aggressive, but I can afford to go a bit more slowly. I'm okay trading off because a lot of my creatures are drawing me cards when they enter. Now I can play a Brontodon or a Truffle Snout. Brontodon's bigger. Okay, that's a nice use of Saproling. Leon is Devotee, that's a good card. Although they are a bit choked on mana, which makes it a little hard to use. 2 Dreadmaws. Okay. Well, let's see. If I attack with Brontodon and Mutt, I mean, they can double block with these 2. But honestly, that's fine with me. At this point, I am the aggro. I do want to leave enough stuff back that they can't just kill me in one hit, because aggro can do that. Cool. So I'm going to kill the Devotee. No. Because I don't want them making a bunch of things. I think my life total is safe enough. I can just put a counter on. Excellent. So now we can just attack with everybody. All of my creatures have trample, so they're in a bad position. Okay. That helps out. This does seem like the best block for them, assuming that they're in such a position that they have to win next turn or they will just lose. We just take their 1 life, preserve 2 of their creatures, and in fact give them a Saproling. That said, I do have another Dreadmaw. I'm going to revitalize now, just in case I draw a permanent to play. Okay. So yeah, that was an interesting match. The Subiro really made the play interesting. Ooh, I have to sack a creature. Okay, let's play this first so that I... Okay, they're just giving up. They were not... Oh, they were dead. They were dead. Okay. Because I had 1 trample, no matter how they blocked. Okay, so that was an interesting first game. Let's move on to game 2. Alright, we're playing against Jeffrey. We go first. Oof. Turn 2 Griffin Airy. If we draw a forest, one of our first 2 cards, we could then trigger it. But that seems really loose. I think I need a mulligan. This is better. Let's put planes to the bottom. Counter on it, so they still might be able to buff their Immolator and kill Trufflesnout, but if so, that's fine. If they can't buff it, then we're holding them off. Excellent. I don't want to give them a better target for the Immolator, but I do want to be mana efficient, so I'm going to play the Sentinel. I did forget that it enters tapped, so I don't have a blocker this turn, but right now, I'm kind of in the aggro seat. Oh, they also have one. Interesting. So, I can deal them 7 damage and play a Truffle Snout. Yeah, I think I'm just turning sideways. Hopefully we draw a land next turn, so we don't just have to play Revitalize. Gnarled Sage would be a lot better. Interesting. I do think I need to block here, because they do have an on-board removal spell. If they have another one, they could take out the rest of my board, and then be dealing me a lot of damage with the Sentinel. So I want to get rid of that. Ooh, veto. Okay. Okay, so I did draw a forest. So I'm playing the Gnarled Sage this turn. There's no reason to play it yet, though. They're unlikely to block, yeah. Alright, well. Let's see how this goes. Veto's very good, but they are on the back foot, so they may not be able to utilize him well. Ooh, nice. Interesting. So I want to revitalize now to see if I draw another card worth playing. Garrett's Uprising. Yeah. So they're not going to be able to kill my Gnarled Sage unless they double block. Forgotten Sentinel. Yeah, I'm attacking with everybody. I guess I could have played Garrick's Uprising first on the off chance that they kill both of my 4-power creatures. But if so, they're probably losing creatures too. Which would be good. Okay, excellent. Other card we can't play. Alright, 5/4 flying. You can't attack unless they have 4 more artifacts, and if a creature died this turn... Oh, for each creature that died on their end step, they make a treasure. Okay. It can still block, which is very important. They do not have mana to give it lifelink, which is very, very good. So the monk can destroy one of their treasures and stave off the attack. They're actually... No, they're going to have to block, so... If I draw a card, the Gnarled Sage gets 2 toughness. Yep, that's what I want. So, Dreadmaw? Dreadmaw. Okay, they're going to kill my Gnarled Sage, which is going to give them 2 treasures with Gadrak. But I do not hate that. Can't attack, but that's fine. I'll just sit back. Oh, it won't give them 2 treasures because it has to be on their turn. Well, that's good. Oh, that's not going to do much for them here. Okay, so I do have enough trample to kill them, except they have the ability to gain lifelink, so they're going to gain 6 life. Play this and destroy their Cauldron. Actually, don't care if they sacrifice a creature though, so I guess I just attack first. Oh, I can't attack with the Truffle Snout. Yeah, so I guess I just attack with Dreadmaw. So I want to force them to... They're going to lose either Veto or Gadrak, which either one's fine. I actually don't know which one's more important. Yeah, Gadrak. Okay, that should have been obvious. Now let's gain some life back. So hopefully they can't just kill me with life gain. Unfortunately, I did not gain 3 life this turn, but oh well. Maybe Veto was worth killing. Well, they can only gain 5 life with their 5 power, so maybe I'm okay. Do this. Yeah, let's just play this. Draw a card, see what I get. Excellent. So I attack with both, and they would not have the ability... Well, they wouldn't die. They don't have the ability to gain lifelink yet. Yeah, let's do it, and then I can play the Rambunctious Mutt to block them on the swing back. Okay, Veto is doing work here. He is making it very difficult to win. Yep, I gotta do this. If I block, then they gain 4. I lose 4, so they'll be at 5, and I will not be able to kill them next turn. If I take it, I take 8 damage. They go to 5, but then I can kill them next turn, so I'm going to take it. Actually, Vito's going to kill me, isn't he? Are we both going to die? This is interesting. Oh no, with the life gain they survived. Oof. Maybe I played that poorly. Vito's very good. Yeah, I think if I'd killed him when I instead killed the dragon, it really would have slowed my opponent down. So I think that was just bad play on my part, but man, he makes things confusing. Alright, I go first. All I have is a Revitalize. I have two double green cards and no forest, so that's a benefit. Alright. Sure, I can keep 6. I think I put back the Warden, because I can always search it up with the Fierce Empath. Looks like we're playing against a life gain deck. Don't you do it. I see you eyeing my truffle snout, and I don't like it. Oh, that's fine. Interesting. No, I don't think I will trade. Sure. Let's search up a Warden of the Woods. I could have a creature fight. Don't really want to do that. So my Empath can block the Charger. Snout can block the Swindler. They're getting kind of aggressive, so I just want to wall up if possible. Hopefully, draw some more life gain for this Aerie. So they're thinking. All right, my guess is they have like the +1/+1. No, they just want to trade. Okay, that's fine with me. Just need one more land, and I can play this Warden. There it is. They're going to start attacking with the Thalid. So, do I use Primal Might on it? I don't think I do, because next turn I can play the Warden and block. And if they then remove it, I can draw a couple cards. So I think I just well, I should play the Aerie. All right, I got him on a clock. Just need them to lose 6 more flips. It's disappointing. But I mean, actually, if they do have removal for this, they could just not care that I draw 2 cards. And then get it for 8 damage, which is actually kind of scary. But fortunately, they don't. Oh, and I have Revitalize to gain life and get me a Griffin. So now I'm doing okay. Should I kill something? Yeah, maybe. Maybe the Enforcer? my guy has vigilance. Okay. So 9 seconds left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah. Shouldn't be able to kill him. Unless they have the Death Touch combat trick, but I'm hoping that that is a no-go. Alright, they're back to their starting life total. Oh, from Tavern Swindler. Excellent. This will remove their creature with the highest power, so they're not going to be able to kill my Warden of the Woods then. Let's just play this, because they already know what it is, so I'm not going to trick them. Actually, could have held it for the Steward. But that's fine. They might use the Steward to chunk block soon. Oh. They're up 3 life on the Swindler. That's a good draw, actually, when I'm empty-handed. Okay, I don't want lands, so I'll just take the Gaggle Master. Oh, and I hadn't thought about this. The Gaggle Master is actually going to allow me to trigger the Airy, because I have a second flyer. Okay, so now I feel pretty safe about my position. Swindler has gained them 6 life now. Yep, just attacking. Okay. This is the part where they drop Ugin and wipe my board. Oh, excellent. They were doing well with that Tavern Swindler, though. If only they'd had some of the life gain synergies to go with it. All right, we're 2 and 1. Okay, they go first. This is a little sketchy, but I've got several turns in which I could draw a forest or spells worth playing, so. Alright. We drew another 5-drop. There we go. Truffle Snout. Okay, so we're going to cycle this Revitalize. Okay, we're playing against another life gain deck. Oh boy, we are not drawing land. Oh shoot. Okay. We really need a forest, thank you. just... Okay. Okay. This guy has reach. My Truffle Stomp can't block, so it's just gonna attack. Alright, Gnarled Sage. Please do not kill my Gnarled Sage. I said don't. I mean, they would have been able to do it to the Gaggle Master too. And they have Radiant Fountain, so they get to trigger Indulging Patrician again. This is the most consistent that I've seen this deck be. If they have another removal spell, I'm just dead. Obviously, I have to trade. But now that Patrician is free to wreak havoc. Oh, interesting. Well, that's not ideal. Has trample. I don't have a reach creature because they killed it. So I'm gonna die here. My only hope is to find one of my removal spells. Nope, I am dead now. Okay, welcome in. Wow, that was amazing. Okay, well, lost to the life gain deck again. So now we're at 2-2. Alright, we're playing against MJR Boredom. Well, hopefully this match will not be boring for you, opponent. I go first. Oh, and I got some plays. So this Drowsing Pteranodon is pretty sweet. Because like I said, aggro is a big thing in this format, so it's important to have some early defense. And this guy's a 3/3 for 2, and then late game, I mean, having a creature with 4 power in the late game is a pretty low bar, so it turns into an attacker once you no longer need to wall up. So I really like this guy. Oh, this one's amazing. I was disappointed I saw none of them during the draft. So if I attack, they can double block. That actually might be fine. Okay. Because taking out their Visionary would get rid of some of their ramp, so. Alright, 2 more turns and I'm playing Dreadmaws and drawing cards. Good place to be. They have 3 colors of mana. So maybe this is a Shrine deck, or maybe they're just splashing something good. Cultivate? Okay. So we're about to find out. Oh, okay. It's a Plains in a Swamp. So they are just 3 colors. I'm going to attack with the Snout again. Hopefully they let me through. Nice. So it feels like they're ramping up to something huge. They need this Visionary, which scares me. They're 2 turns away from Ugin, which is the main big spell that I can think of that's scary. Basri Cat. Oh. I see.
Ketra's teaching still guides. I will guard your advance.
Interesting. So yeah, this guy's going to grow their creatures, which is not ideal. Because now I cannot even attack Basri. Excellent. Unless Corpse attacks. Come on, Corpse, please attack. Really? Okay. I really wanted them to, but I would not expect it, because that would be a bad choice. Hopefully Dreadmaw survives, so that can go at Basri. That's not amazing. Now they can put a counter on the Truffle Snout and attack with the Walking Corpse. Actually, yeah, that's not ideal. Interesting.
Now is the time.
Rather attack with the Corpse. Well, that means I'm not blocking. It does mean they're going to have to probably block there, which works out for me. Ooh. Let's just get the Dreadmaw back. I could have gotten back the Truffle Snout and then next turn played it to gain life to get a Griffin, which could then attack Basri, but I think just getting the Dreadmaw with a card draw is better. But this Basri's getting out of control.
I will guard your advance.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna jump block. Oh, I was not telling both of them. Okay. Yeah, my mouse has some issues. And I think it clicked both of them. Well, this turn they get to Ultimate Basri, which is not good. Not good at all. Yep, I think I've lost. Yeah, I'm having 2 removal spells made it impossible for me to deal with Basri, and now they get the emblem, which is not beatable.
You are raised in a sandstorm.
Five, 9, so I can play this for 8. Fight that. If I attack, well, it's not like I'm going to be able to block well anyway. So, yeah, let's just attack with both. Okay, that's good. I'm not fully out of it yet. Not fully. Still mostly. But if I can find a way to deal an extra 4 damage quickly. And their creatures don't have trample, so I can chump. Which I'm going to have to do, because I'm dead here if I don't. So yeah, this is going to be extremely close.
Move as one.
But yeah, I don't think I have any way of dealing that 2 extra damage, so I think I'm gonna lose. I have 1 card that would let me deal 1 more damage. I guess if I chain some 4-drops, or some 4-power creatures, that could work. Or maybe some life gain. Chain revitalizes. Oh, they're gonna gain 4. Yeah. Okay, well that's a start. Alright, so we have been bested by Basri, and that was our final loss. So, that one didn't go so great. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will